We are back with more great adventures with the members of the Florida Powerboat Club here in sunny South Florida, celebrating 26 years, and back with the epic Key West Offshore Poker Run. 26 years now of this fabulous event, which has returned to well over 200 registered teams from around the globe. And a special thanks to our presenting sponsor, Mercury Racing, wide open. Many of the boats here with Mercury Racing power, as well as the new Project 1080 Cigarette 38 Top Gun. And we welcome back our grand prize sponsor, offleaseonly.com, who have supported this event for more than 10 years. And this year it's a 2018 Chevy Silverado pickup truck that will be going home with our Poker Run winner. And we're now going to catch up now for episode number 5, which brings us to about the halfway point of the Key West Offshore Poker Run. And just to give you an idea of how epic it really is, this is just the poker card pickup at Grove Harbor Marina in Coconut Grove. We have got about 150 boats running today, and that's about how many teams are going to be pulling up to the dock here at Grove Harbor to pick up their bonus poker card. And this is an important card to get because it extends your winning chances by giving you an extra card, a total of 7 now cards that you're going to play out on Saturday night to try to win that Chevy Silverado pickup. You can see that everyone's being really patient as they get into this milling circle, which is a clockwise direction, and one by one they're going to pull up to the dock and get that lucky card handed off from our FPC girls, and a lot of help from the staff at Grove Harbor Marina because they've got those long poles with little boxing gloves attached to the end so they can push your boat away from the dock and we get no fender benders or paint scratches. Let's kick things off with Neil and Cindy Campbell on their 42 Mystic, and they've always got a sexy crew on board, lovely ladies, and a very spirited team as they pick up their first card here on the Key West Run. And here's Danny Merrill and his crew from Georgia on this big 50-foot Hahn center console. The first time we've seen this boat. Danny's been around the club for a long time, and this has got to be the ultimate poker run machine. Josh Golder made a big splash with his first Florida Powerboat Club event on this 52 Fjord. First time we've seen a boat like this, and its lovely crew, I might add. And everyone just stood here and looked at this boat and said, wow, what an incredible looking ride. 52 feet, obviously a very European style design. Built in Germany, there's also a 48-foot model. But just look at all the space on this boat and think of all the friends you can bring on a poker run with a beast like this. And let's say hi to Robert Lockyer, who's been around the club now for 3 or 4 years with this 32-foot skater. He breathed some new life into this boat by repowering brand new Mercury 400R Verados. And here's Anthony Bertozzi's first mate as she reaches out for that poker card. They are on board a 38-foot Cigarette Top Gun twin-step Mercury Racing 525s. And there's Mike Fuquay driving today. They do a lot of poker runs together. And let's welcome Jesse and Stephanie Newman, all the way from Minnesota, with their brand new 39-foot Nortec center console. Their first rodeo with FPC, but I know we're going to see a lot more of them because he's got a brand new 450cc on order. And in the world of Nortec, we cannot forget the popularity of this Nortec 3600 Super Cat. Rick and Charlene Milstead and this 36 Super Cat that they've had now for 3 or 4 years. We first met this couple up at the Emerald Coast Poker Run about 10 years ago. And let's welcome first-timers John and Darlene Diakolis from Maryland in their 42-foot outer limits. Key West was on their bucket list, and they said they had an absolute blast. And another outer limits team, this one a 39 Quattro, Bruno Paris and his wife Rebecca, who spend a lot of time here in South Florida. They're from Quebec. They love recreational motorsports. When they're not in their offshore powerboat, they're out in the sports cars going on car rallies. And another warm welcome to a first-timer, Jeremy Parker from North Carolina. Team Parker's Distribution. This is a 32-foot Spectre Cat with Ilmore power. And let's welcome back Tom Clocker. He's been on this run before, along with his crew. 42-foot Cigarette Huntress, 4 Mercury Racing Verado 400s. What a great poker run platform. Plenty of room for all your friends and a nice air-conditioned cabin down below. And here's a team that is so spirited. They're so happy to be back again, and they made brand new team uniforms. Francis Marfiak from Connecticut with his 353 formula. Team Yeah Baby, one of the most spirited teams on the run 2 years in a row. And let's have a big warm welcome for Forrest Riddle in this 43 Nortec. He said he waited 15 years to join us on this run, and he finally was able to make it. Now let's welcome Michael and Nevada McClellan from Illinois in Cold One Confessions. 37-foot Active Thunder with Mercury Racing 525s. Their first time on the Key West Poker Run. Thanks for joining us, guys. I know you came a long way to attend. We just hope you had a great time. Now let's say hi to Max Zeldjic from Florida, 36-foot cigarette Gladiator. Out of the 26 cigarettes on the run, there were just 2 Gladiators, and I know that we're going to see a lot of Max on one of our future episodes of the Key West coverage because we got some good video of him running out on the Saturday Fun Run. And one of just a handful of Donzies attending on this event, and his second year for Key West is Darius Ariza. He's recently repowered, and I know this is one of the fastest ZR comps in the club. And let's welcome back Kevin and Melissa Welsh from Massachusetts, a 35-foot cigarette. They've had a great run in 2018, attending at least 4 poker runs and winding things up with this big Key West event.
Close your eyes, it won't be hard.
Here's another new team, first time here on the Key West Poker Run, Greg and Stephanie Del Monte, all the way from New Jersey in this 44 Outer Limits powered by Mercury Racing 700s. Beautiful boat, and they said they had a great time on their first Key West.
Are we almost there? Are we almost there?
And they crossed the Georgia state line to join us here for the Key West Poker Run. Kyle Fowler in his 35-foot fountain, one of 14 fountains registered on the run, and obviously he's sporting these very patriotic graphics here, a popular paint job for fountain back in the day. And here's another team who's back again, probably his third time, Justin Boltzma from Michigan in his 38-foot Power Quest, the only Power Quest registered on the run. Here's another team that's all the way from Texas, Jeff Campbell in his 45-foot Nortec center console for Mercury Racing 400R Verados, and he is representing the factory Nortec team with this brand new 450. And we saw this couple earlier in the 2018 season, Jeff and Carrie Babineau from Louisiana in their 38-foot statement. I believe that they were on the winner's podium for the Miami Boat Show Poker Run earlier this year. Just look at the beautiful colors of this 38 statement. And it's 2 in a row for Michael and Lori Smith in their 41-foot cigarette. They attended the Fall Bimini Blast, which was rerouted to Marathon. We had a lot of fun with them down at Marathon, and just 6 weeks later now, they're here back for Key West Poker Run. And let's welcome back Scott and Stacy Rosenbach all the way from Illinois in Team Some Beach. 41-foot cigarette powered by Quad Mercury Verado 400Rs. Beautiful looking boat, and they really made a departure from a traditional cigarette paint job with the colors. I really like it. And here's another team from Louisiana, David Levy in his 38-foot statement. Team Real Escape, spelled R-E-E-L, assuming therefore he probably does a little fishing. And here's a boat we've seen many times on the Key West Poker Run, Team Danger Zone. Though it was with previous owners in the past, it's now a team effort. Jukka Murto and his friend Sebastian from Sweden and Finland, all the way from Northern Europe to join us here on the Poker Run. It looks like the ladies are enjoying the ride right up front. Now let's welcome newcomers Jeff and Rebecca Walters all the way from Iowa. Team Chase and Tail, and ironically it is a Renegade built right here in Miami. So that Renegade was built here at one point, it went far away, and now it's being returned to its roots here in Miami as we welcome Jeff and Rebecca on their first Key West event. And another new team joining us here for Key West, Elliot and Erica Witzer from Illinois, a brand new 2017 41 GTR cigarette powered by Quad Mercury 400s. In a word, they said this event was awesome. And now catching up for a closer shot of Yuka Murto and his partner Sebastian on their 43 Nortec Roadster. Not a model we see very many of anymore, but certainly one that stood the test of time. A great looking boat, and certainly one of the loudest boats in the club. And now the drone has circled back for a closer shot of this 41-foot cigarette, Scott and Stacy Rosenbach. And as I mentioned just earlier, it's really a departure. This paint job, very different than a lot of the other cigarette center consoles we've seen. I love the blue as well as the stripes. I saw them finishing this boat in the cigarette factory earlier this year, and the paint is just incredible. They did a wonderful job with this boat, and it's a great poker run platform. And here's a really cool blast from the past. Scott Polio's 35-foot cigarette was all redone by a former club member, more than 10 years ago. I saw it on the Emerald Coast Poker Run. I think it was Jeff Campbell. But I think they did a wonderful job redoing this cafe racer and breathing some new life into its look and graphics. And here they are now on their first Key West poker run in the boat. I think they missed the card handoff on the first round. Well, here we are. Reach for I love this part. See, our FPC girls, they try really hard to get you the card, but you got to meet them halfway. You got to get at least within 5 feet of the dock. So definitely some comical moments dockside, and certainly a great opportunity to get right up and close to our crews and see our spirited teams as they get ready for this big event. But that pretty much wraps up the poker card segment at Grove Harbor as the boats are now making their way out into Biscayne Bay for the official start. There's going to be 3 phases to that start. Of course, we have our high performance class, which are the red decal boats. They're going to make their way and be the front runners as we head down on this next 50-mile leg down to Key Largo. Altogether, we have about 160 miles to go here from Grove Harbor, so it's going to be a full day of boating, but of course, at the speeds that some of these boats travel, it's going to be fast and furious. The second class, of course, is the performance class. Those are going to be yellow stickered boats, and they would be having average cruising speeds of about 70 to 75 miles per hour. Of course, they could top out at over 90, but we're looking at cruising speeds when we determine which is your speed class that you want to run in and keep this event safe. And of course, the final class is the sport boat class, which is a green sticker, typically center consoles, but it could be some older V-bottoms or anybody that is comfortable cruising in that 55 mile per hour range. Remember, captains, you want to keep your crew safe and you want them to have a good time. The best way to do that is find a speed that you're comfortable with, that everyone's smiling, and you have a great ride all the way to Key West. And now we have it, our kickoff here as we get up to speed. Shane and Amy Mulkey from Louisiana are going to kick things off here with that incredible Miami skyline off in the distance and throwing a big rooster tail from their 44 skater. Not their first rodeo with the Florida Powerboat Club. They've been here before. They've attended the Emerald Coast Poker Run, and nice to have you guys back. Now let's say hi to Tony DeWall from Michigan in this 40-foot skater. He's been on a number of runs with the club in this particular boat. He attended the Fort Myers run earlier this year, and good to see you back, Tony, for Key West. And that's 3 for 3 on the skater team as we now catch up with Chris Ryder from New York and his 36 skater. Obviously a hardcore poker run fanatic in team crisis management. He's done a bunch of runs with the club already this year, and he's done the Key West poker run so many times, I've lost count.
Taking the freeway to your city life while I hit the back road to the country.
And that's 4 skaters in a row now. Michael Alexander from New York and his triple engine 32 skater. Another seasoned veteran of the Key West Poker Run. He's done it more than a dozen times in this very same boat. And representing a strong Canadian contingency, Chris Mastronardi from Canada in a 48-foot MTI. Chris has been around the club for a very long time, but this is one of his fastest boats he's had over those years, this 48 MTI with Mercury Racing 1350s. Clearly going to be one of the front runners today as they head for Key Largo. And keeping pace with the front runners with half the horsepower, here's Brett Menier from Performance Boat Center in this 360 Right Performance Cat. A new model that has really taken the performance boating scene by storm. These are very, very popular 36-foot cats powered by twin Mercury 400Rs, and it is one of the many lines that they represent, as well as Cigarette and Sensation, and also now MTI. They recently introduced to their full lineup. They've also opened up a new location in South Florida by recently acquiring or partnering with Mindy Dollar from Dollar Offshore Performance. So they've got a South Florida store where they now offer new and used boat sales, a full service department, and parts. Here's Mindy Dollar to tell us more.
Performance Boat Center has been at the Lake of the Ozarks for many years, and fantastic organization, and they are now located in South Florida. They are located at the former home of Dollar Offshore Marine and have brought all of their sales, service, parts, and expertise to South Florida. So now in South Florida, we're going to have in stock Sensation with 32 and 40 and probably a 34, MTI, Cigarette, Bright Performance, the Brig inflatable boats, Rich and inflatable boats, and we are also a dealer for Princecraft pontoon boats. We brought a 32 Sensation here in Poker Run Village. We also have a 36 Bright Performance, that is a 360. That boat is built by Doug Wright in the Holler Deck, and then everything else is done by Performance Boat Center out at Lake of the Ozarks. We do the interior, the rigging, the paint, and everything. And we also have here a 40 Sensation with quads, quad 400s that's in the water, a 42B MTI. The Key West Poker Run is the big event of the year. Not only are the races going on, but this is the largest, I believe, poker run event of the year. And with Poker Run Village, it is a destination that everybody makes sure they try to attend.
And thanks to Mindy Dollar for giving us a great update of what's going on with Performance Boat Center and for putting up with that rooster who was competing for the microphone. That is a true Key West interview. And continuing coverage here with this 360 Right Performance, Darren Kittredge from Massachusetts. And my, how time flies. I think Darren has been doing this event for close to 20 years. He had a whole bunch of cigarettes back in the earlier days, but I do believe this is the first catamaran I've seen him in, and I know he's loving this boat. And what's not to love? It looks fantastic, it performs great, and it's easy on fuel. And another long-term member celebrating about 20 years with Florida Powerboat Club, Mark Stoddart from Ontario, Canada, in his 48-foot MTI powered by Mercury Racing 1350s. And it'll be the last run for Mark in this boat because he's got his eye set on a new 48 MTI. But I've got a hunch that somebody in the club is going to buy this boat, and we're going to see it on another poker run real soon.
Tell me your secrets.
And of course, our chopper crew doing everything it can to keep up with these front runners as we close in on Dan DeSantis from Massachusetts in his 388 skater. This one's powered by Mercury Racing 1100s, which I think is the ideal power for this boat. Now, a lot of guys have put 1350s in this boat and make it a real rocket ship, but I think with the 1100s, you got plenty of speed. I mean, we're barely trying to keep up with him now at about 120. So plenty of power here for this very cool Skater 38. I saw this boat for the very first time up at the Lake Lanier Poker Run earlier this summer. And just a note to everyone, when we get down to the Poker Run Village, it's Dan DeSantis and McLaren of Boston that's putting on that great display with all those cool McLarens in the Poker Run Village. So can't wait to check that out a little later.
Forever searching, tell me your secrets. Tell me your secrets.
And I've said this many times, and I'll say it again. Many of these high-performance offshore powerboats, they may change owners, but they stay in the club. Here's Richie Cesnat from New York in his SV50 Outer Limits powered by Mercury Racing 1350s. And I got a chance to ride in this boat about 5 years ago when it was first owned by Mark Stoddart, who we saw just minutes ago. We took this boat down to the Florida Keys, had a great ride, and here she is now looking fantastic here on the Key West Poker Run.
Tell me your secrets. Do you remember when you told me that I was yours and only yours, that you've stolen me from myself?
And here's what I would describe as a money shot. Two cats running side by side about 100 miles per hour. Don Doty in the foreground in this big skater powered by Mercury Racing 1350s. And just off in the distance, another cat rolling up alongside, which would be the third of those 360 Wright Performance cats from Performance Boat Center. And you can see they're running along at a pretty good clip, one with substantial power, the other with just 800 horsepower, but certainly maintaining the pace as we catch up with Matt Borsina here from Long Island, New York. His last boat was a 28 skater, so this was a nice move for him to go from a 28 to a 36, and he seems to be just having a blast in this 360 Wright Performance cat. And the cat play continues on this beautiful November day as we catch up with Laurent Besnier from Florida. This is another Doug Wright, a 32, not to be confused with the Wright Performance. Clearly they come from the same builder, but the Wright Performance isn't exclusive to Performance Boat Center. Of course, this Doug Wright is modeled after a very popular race model. You see a lot of these on the race circuit. They run great with a pair of Mercury Racing 400s. Obviously, this one has a full canopy, and he has attended a number of poker runs with the Florida Powerboat Club in this boat. Let's say hi to David Landsman from Maryland. It says Jenny, but I don't think she's on the boat. She doesn't like the cat. She likes the center console. So it's a boys' trip for David as they head to Key Largo. Let's welcome back Bob and Charlene Lattis from Massachusetts in this SV42 MTI Quad Mercury Racing 400s. Not his first MTI, though. The last one was an MTI Cat, but they decided to slow things down a little bit and go for the center console side of the equation, and they seem to be loving it. And here's another great shot of Roman Ricucci in his 47 Outer Limits Pure Evil. We saw a ton of this boat in the last show, and it is one incredible ride. Another Outer Limits here as we catch up with David and Nicole Wexler from Pennsylvania in this Mercury Racing powered SV52 Outer Limits. In their video bio, they said that they thought the weather was absolutely amazing, and they thought it was a great run because it was well organized. On board with them today, Tony Scioli from Elite Poker Runs. Here's a boat we've all seen many times. This is Super Veloce MTI 52, powered by Mercury Racing 1550s. Don Verkulian and Gino Gargiulo, who sold him the boat, but I guess Gino still gets a ride. Don is from Wisconsin, but he also has a home down in the Florida Keys. So you're going to see a lot more of this boat as Don becomes more active with the Florida Powerboat Club. And keeping the cigarette roster strong, here's Bud and Benna Porter all the way from Illinois in this 39 cigarette Top Gun powered by Mercury Racing 700s, an excellent poker run platform. Bud is keeping the family tradition strong by following up on his brother Jim's footsteps. Jim has done the Key West run more than a dozen times in his 34-foot Phantom. Now let's welcome newcomers Chad Havens and Chrissy Reese from Texas in this 40-foot skater Team Savage. Not the first time we've seen this boat on the run, but they just recently purchased the boat back in August, so it's their first run with this 40 skater. They said they had a fantastic time, and they're a long way from home, 1,100 miles. They trailered the boat from Orange, Texas. And one of many teams from Long Island, New York, Sal Olivia with this 42-foot Cigarette X powered by Mercury Racing 700s Team Escape from New York, and that is exactly what Sal is doing with his crew. And I want to thank him for being such a great supporter of the club. He's done a lot of poker runs with the club in this boat, and he's even got himself a cigarette center console now as a backup boat. And we're back with Sean and Kristen Lather from South Carolina in this very colorful SV42 MTI. We saw a lot of this boat in the previous episode. And another cigarette 42X, this one with big power, Mercury Racing 1100s Team Rooster Tail. And you can see why. Look at that amazing rooster tail coming off those M8 drives, and this is one beautiful poker run machine. Now let's welcome newcomers to the club, Bennett and Hamida Lofton from Florida. Actually from Texas too. They've got a home in Florida and in Texas. This 42-foot Nordic is the only one in the club like it. It used to be in the club. It belonged to Jim and Lynn Archambault, but nice to see this boat back. Met this couple at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show just a week before the poker run, and they rallied as one of our last signups. Nice to have you guys.
Transform, you stand alone.
And after a long absence from the club, I'd like to welcome back Curtis Francois from Missouri. He attended with his 43 Midnight Express. And it is my privilege to welcome back Barry and Stephanie Henson, this time now with their 43-foot Nortec, a 2007 Super Cat. And they attended the Key West run way back in 2002, so they've had a long absence from the event. We're very happy to have them back. They said that they had a great time, and they enjoyed meeting some of the other boaters, and they certainly loved the speed on the water. Riding on board with them, Tommy Gunn and Sean Cliche. And now with a growing population of Mystics on these runs, David Rudiger from Ohio in this 42 Mystic powered by triple Mercury 350 Verados, and they've got a great crew today as they head down to Key Largo. And another new team, let's say hi to Keith and Karen Rockman from the Florida Panhandle, a 34 Sensation CCX powered by triple Mercury Verado 350s. Let's welcome Simon Williams, who lives over in Sarasota, Florida, a 39-foot Deep Impact 399 quad Mercury Verado 350s, and the best representation for this Deep Impact brand ever. Total of 7 399s on this run this weekend. Let's say hi to Jimmy Harrison and his crew from South Florida in this 39-foot Nortec FJ propeller. It's powered by quad Mercury 400Rs. Jimmy's the guy you need to know if you've got a boat because he's got all the props. Let's welcome Chris and Jen Owens all the way from California, Team Relentless. Take a closer look at this Mystic because it's a little different than the 42. It's the all-new 38 model. This one's powered by triple Mercury 400R Verados. Love the paintwork. What a great looking ride. From a fountain to a Nortec to this Deep Impact 399 powered by quad Mercury Verado 350s. Paul Bertucci from Mississippi, the beer guy as we all know him, and a longtime member with Florida Powerboat Club. Congratulations on your new boat, Paul.
So long, brought our story in my dreams and I need to move on. Please don't move from me again, your lies will hurt me. I'll move on. Boy, please say.
And let's welcome Ramon and Cachavera from Team Bulletproof in their 30-foot Scarab. Ramon helped me out with all of the marine mat flooring and custom decking throughout the Project 1080 cigarette. So a big shout out to him. He did a fantastic job, and if anybody needs any custom decking for their boats, he's the guy to see. I've got his number. Give me a call if you want the hookup. Rejoin now Keith and Karen Rockman. We saw them just a few minutes ago in the show with their 34 CCX Sensation. Again, I love the paintwork and the graphic design on these Sensations, and we welcome them back as a manufacturing sponsor. We've got a total of 8 Sensations on the run.
Searching for the sunny days on Secret Island. There's no fear, regrets. We will be
So now we welcome back Danny Merrill from Georgia with this big 50-foot Han center console. We've seen this boat a number of times during the series here on the Key West coverage, but the size of this boat means you can bring all your friends. Nobody's got to stay home on the dock. And I believe it's time for a big congratulations to Gary and Nancy Robertson from Maine after soon acquiring this 527 Nortec with Mercury Racing 1350s. Obviously, we knew this boat with the Fishers over the last few years. It's a 2015 model, and they are just loving the boat. What do they love about coming to Key West? Well, all the fun, the great memories, and they've made so many friends along the way. Riding on board with them today are Nate, Tricia, Mike, Bob, and Brenda. And we're back again now with Darius Cerisa in this 38 Donzi ZR Comp, recently repowered, and I know this is a very fast 38. And always fast and furious, Kenny Armstrong from Texas in Team Phantom, 48 MTI powered by Mercury Racing 1350s. Here he is now, and there he is gone. Well, it looks like we're about to reach Gilbert's in Key Largo, so we're going to wrap up segment number 5 here with our feature coverage of the Key West Poker Run. When we come back for our next show, we're going to have lots of high-speed thrills as we catch up with the boats at Gilbert's and follow them through the scenic Florida Keys down to Marathon. It's all right here on the Key West Offshore Poker Run, presented by Mercury Racing with grand prize sponsor offleaseonly.com. Remember to follow us on YouTube by subscribing to the Florida Powerboat Club channel, and remember to click on the bell over to the right. That way you'll get notifications of any upcoming episodes. On Facebook, we're at Florida Powerboat Club, and on Instagram, you can catch us at FL Powerboat, Stu FPC, and of course, FPC Girls. If you're interested in club membership or upcoming poker run events, you can always visit the club website at flpowerboat.com. This is Stu Jones. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode with members of the Florida Powerboat Club. Be safe and remember to wear your life jackets.